Did you know that choosing a wrong visa pathway could delay your migration to Australia by years or could cost you lots of money? Hello, how are you doing? Barnabas here. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to day 6 of this series, Before You Fly. And in today's video, I will speak about the types of visa, an overall overview of different pathways that could bring you to Australia. But before I go on, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also please turn on the bell so that you get notified when we post a new video. Please don't miss any part of this series. Now, in day 5 last week, we talked about the information or the research that you need to do before you come to Australia, before you move to the diaspora. Those are key information that you need to research and get acquainted with before you make a decision to fly to places like this. And in today's video, I would like to give an overview of different kinds of visa or visa pathways that could bring you to Australia, because it's important for you to choose the correct visa pathway that suits your circumstance. So today is just an overview of the kind of visa that you should go for. But before we jump into that, please note that I'm not a registered immigration agent. I'm just talking about things that are general in nature, and I will tell you sources that you can go and verify for yourself. I'm just discussing things on a general perspective and should not be taken as personal advice. If you need an expert advice, please contact a registered immigration agent. If you don't know anyone, I'm happy to give you a reference. All right, let's jump straight into it. I've put these visa types into 5 groups. The first category is skilled migration visas, which is point-based, and this includes visas like 189, 190, 491. And these visas are specifically for professionals, all right? Those whose skills are required here in Australia. Professional skills that are in demand, that means that they are in skilled occupation list, means that Australia would want more of those skills. And these skills includes teachers, nurses, accountants, engineers, chefs, and so on, all right? So long as your skill is in demand in Australia, then this is the right visa for you. And for you to come on this kind of visa, you will need to prove, I would say, 4 things. 1, academic qualification, that is of the level required. Number 2, relevant work experience. All right, relevant work experience means that your experience needs to be in the line of what you've studied. All right. Number 3, you will need English capability, and that's where English tests such as IELTS, TPE comes in. All right, you will need that, and you will also be of the correct age. All right. The reason why it is called point-based is because all those 4 qualifications that I've talked about are graded in terms of the qualification. All right. For example, if you have a master's degree, you will have a better score than having a degree. Or if you have a degree, you'll have a better score than having just a diploma. All right. If you have a PhD, even better. Moving to work experience, the more number of years of work experience you have, the more points you will score in that. Okay. So if you have 10 years of work experience, you will score more points than somebody who's just having 5 years or 2 years of work experience. All right. So they're into kind of a spectrum. All right, I will not go into details, but the more number of years of work experience, relevant work experience you have, the more points you will score on that. Moving to English capability, if you score more points in IELTS, you will have better points in that particular English capability. Okay, then on age, if you're on the prime working age, you will score better points than somebody who is very young or somebody who is approaching the 45. So that's how point-based work. If you have better academic qualification, you score more points. If you have more relevant work experience, years of work experience, you score better points. If you score good points or good grades in IELTS, PTE, or English test, you score better points on that. And if you're of a prime working age, you also score better on that. And why is this important? During the decision to call you for a visa, they will consider the more points you have, the more faster, the more priority you be given. All right. So priority is given to those who are of higher points. Okay. When it comes to skill migration. Those who have higher points are given priority to be invited to apply for visa than those who have less points. So that's why it's important to have the maximum points so that you stand a chance of being called quickly. So quickly, how does skilled migration visas work? First of all, what you need to do as step one is go to the official immigration website and look for point calculator. Points calculator is where you will go and feed your information concerning your academic work experience, your age, your English capability, and then it will give you the points, an estimate of points. Remember we talked about points, okay? So it will give you an estimate of the points that you have, okay? You currently have. So if that calculator gives you 65 points and above, you know you qualify, okay? But if it's below 65, it means that you won't be able to qualify to come as a skilled immigrant. The second thing you need to do after establishing that you qualify, that means you have 65 points and above in the points calculator, then you need to contact your skill assessment authority. What do I mean by skill assessment authority? Every skill here in Australia has got assessing authority, which is mandated to assess the qualifications of applicants, to check whether their qualifications is of the standard required here in Australia. So when they assess your papers, they're able to tell whether your academic qualification is of the level required here in Australia. Your work experience is also of the level that is required here in Australia. All right. So every skill has got a body like that. Okay. For example, for accountants, we have CPA. For internal auditors, we have VET-assess. For engineers, we have something else. For teachers, we also have something else. So therefore, you need to go to the website of the assessing authority, check the details that they want. You can also even email them, contact them, and tell them that you would like to do your skill assessment. All right. So once you contact them, once you establish that you have what they need, you can submit your application for assessment the way they want it. Okay. The papers they want. Okay. Everything that they need. Make sure you supply all the papers, all the requirements. So make sure you submit your application with everything, all right? Because once you submit your application and you pay for it, it is not going to be refunded, okay? So make sure you put your application in the correct way that your assessing authority will need, all right? So once you submit your application for assessment, it will take some time. They will do assessment and they will come back to you and say you are qualified, your academic qualification is of the level required, your work experience is also of the level required, and then once you have that positive skill assessment, you do the next step. The next step is called expression of interest, where you also go and feed information in the official immigration website and sign in, register, and then put your information in there. Once you put your information in there, then you will wait. You express your interest saying, I have a positive skill assessment. I would like to move to Australia in this kind of skill. All right. So once you do that, you will just wait. And remember, when you have more points, you have a priority to be called first for a visa. If you have lesser points, then probably you'll have to wait longer. But if you have more points, then you have a chance of being called really quickly. All right, so you just wait. Being invited to apply for a visa, you can be invited to apply for 189, which is skilled independent. You can move anywhere in Australia, or you can be sponsored by a state. In that case, you are added 5 more points, and then you can be called by any state: Queensland, Victoria, New South Wales, and so on, Northern Territory. And then you are invited to apply for 190, or you can also be invited to apply for 491, okay, depending on the level of points you have. Okay, so that's why it's good to have better qualification, so you stand a chance, you're given the priority quickly if you have more points. All right, you're called quickly and you're given a priority. And then finally, this day comes, you're invited to apply for a visa. You're given a window of a period to apply for the visa. What you do, you apply for the visa, you pay for the visa, and then you just wait to be granted a visa. And the day you get an email say you've been granted a visa, you start preparing to moving to Australia. The second category of visa is student visa, which is in Australia subclass 500. And in this visa, you as an international student, you come and study in Australia. This is for international students who come to study in Australia. You can come and study a bachelor degree, master's, or even PhD. After you finish and graduate, you could qualify for visa 485. That visa allows you to stay between 2 and 3 years, and within that time you are allowed to work and gain experience on your skill. And so it could also lead to you staying here permanently, you getting to a permanent resident visa. One thing to note about this visa is if you're the primary holder of this visa, then you'll only be allowed to work limited hours. For the moment, it's 48 hours a fortnight because they expect you to spend more time on your studies. All right, so work is just to support you a little bit, but your primary objective, your primary goal and your focus is your studies. When you're applying for student visa, you'll be required to prove financial capability. That is to show that you're able to pay for the school fees. All right, so that's where the bank statements comes in and all that. Okay, if you want to come on student visa, I would recommend that you contact education agents in your town, because most of these universities rely a lot on the agents that are on the ground to do a lot of work, to do a lot of verifications for them, a lot of follow-up with the students, with potential students and all that. So it's easier to go through education agent to get advice and also to get the perfect college which provides the course that you're looking for. All right, so I would highly recommend that you contact education agent in your town. If you don't have one, I'm happy to give you a reference. Number 3 is partner's visa or family visa. So these are the likes of visa 309, 820 and 143. This is the visa that allows you to come and join your family, either as a parent, a spouse, a child of an Australian citizen or a holder of a permanent resident visa. One key thing about this visa is that you will have to prove a strong relationship between you and the one you want to join in Australia. The next one is employer sponsorship visas. All right, this includes visa 482, 186. This applies only to approved or licensed Australian employers who are able to give you sponsorship. And majority of those employers are DAMA, and I've spoken about this in one of the videos, so you can go and check it. And this kind of visa also leads to permanent residence. All right, you will be given an offer, job offer, and then they can help you to process the visa. Under this category, there is also a training visa, which is subclass 407. And this visa allows you to come and work under the supervision of an employer here in Australia for 2 years. It's like an apprentice, it's like an internship. You're working under supervision of an employer here, so that you gain experience for your skill. So if you have a skill, you have a training, but you're lacking work experience, this visa is really, really good for you. And lastly, we have humanitarian or refugee visas. This is the visa that allows you to stay in Australia when you're running away from war, domestic violence, persecution, and things like this. I really don't have much to say about this visa today. So you might be asking, how do I know the visa that suits me? Now you need to ask yourself questions like, what is my skill? Do I have work experience? All right, how old am I? The place to visit for all this information is the official immigration website. It will give you all the conditions, all the requirements for different types of visa, the ones that I've mentioned here and the ones that I have not. All right, so this is the place to visit. It has all the information, the conditions, the requirements, the fees, and all that. All right, even the processing time of these visas. So this is the place to go and check. But if you still can't figure it out, the visa that suits you, then you need to speak to an expert. You need to look for a registered immigration agent. Generally speaking, there are things that you will need for almost all the visas. Number 1, English test. You'll have to do things like IELTS, PTE, so that you can show or prove your English capability. Number 2, you will have to do health examination or health check, and you'll also have to do police check. These are things that are standard. You'll have to show proof of education, proof of work experience, especially if you're coming here as a skilled worker. You'll also have to prove that you have funds, especially for international students or for visit visa. Of course, things like passport and other identifications are obvious documents. In conclusion, choosing the right visa pathway can save you time and can save you money. Can you share with us in the comment section below the visa pathway that you think suits your situation? And if you've already moved to the diaspora or to Australia for that case, what is the visa pathway that you used? And did it work well for you? Again, kindly a special request, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Turn the bell on so that you don't miss any part of this series. Alright, share this video, like it, and also please invite your friends and family for the next episode. Please don't miss. Follow us on TikTok, Facebook, and other social media platforms. Alright, that's all I had for you today. See you tomorrow. This is Barnabas, the son of encouragement. Bye-bye and God bless you.